So this is always such an easy start for me because it's just downhill.
Yeah.
And then I got that little short uphill and 2 big downhills.
Yeah.
So.
And you actually get going at quite a good speed coming down here.
Yeah. This is where I'm usually checking the bike, checking my body, how do I feel, and then this little short uphill, so I usually stand up for this bit. I can't remember if I did here or not, but I usually just stand up and try and get a bit of warm up.
So you're kind of feeling out the bike and your body,
Yep.
just to kind of get a sense of where you're at for the day.
Yep. So I think this is where I start to get the first glimpse of the water.
Mm-hmm.
The start of the ride really kind of calms you down and sets you up for the day. This section is just very, very calming, I find. This is just a slight rise, and sometimes if I'm having fun, I'll come down the hill as fast as I can and then try and get momentum to get over the rise and not even pedal. Like, can I get up there without pedaling? I'd love to see the water calm, like when it's nice and flat. You know, it's kind of like everything's calm, everything's peaceful. You know, so I'm always looking to see what the water's like. And I come back to it again and again and again, like, why wouldn't you do this? You know, really, especially early in the morning where it's so quiet and so peaceful. Well, that bit there, that's the only time I really got, when I looked down that street, I really got nailed by a guy there. I'm checking it. I still think he's going to come up and nail me. Yeah, it's the worst I've ever had, where I thought he saw me and he hadn't, and he just pulled straight out. This bridge here, in the summer, you can almost feel the coolness of the water coming down. It's quite a big creek that runs down, and I love going that in the summer when it's hot. You can really feel that, you know, you're cycling along, it's really warm, you go across the bridge and then you get that like air conditioning cool all of a sudden. It's like, oh, great.
You know, a lot of people would look at what you do every day and say, you know, she's quite a warrior to be biking in from such a long distance downtown. And what do you think it is that makes you different?
Yeah, I don't know. I've not really questioned it, to be honest. I find a lot of people think that, they automatically think that it's not for them. Like, yes, that's Ruth, that's what she does, that's her thing, that's for her, but it's not for me, right? And I don't know how you change that. I really don't. You know, oh well, you know, it's raining most of the time. Well, no, actually, you see, when people tell me it's raining most of the time, that to me means they're not outside. Do you see what I mean? Because there's this misconception that it's always raining here, but that's people inside who are never experiencing the outdoors.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it really isn't that bad.
Yeah. So you feel like you've got a closer relationship with the weather than your perception of the reality of weather is a little bit more finely attuned.
Well, I'm in it every day, so I would say yes.
Are you sort of checking out the different houses here?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
What do you think about as you're looking at them?
If it's dark in the winter, I check out to see if people are up, if their lights are on, if people are starting to get up, or am I the only one on the road?
This seemed like a fairly close,
It was,
unnecessarily close pass here.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And you're shaking your head there?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I thought it was pretty close too. I appreciate this is a really difficult road for cars and cyclists to be able to give one another a lot of room. Being a car driver, driving this route as well, and there's lots of times I've been stuck behind cyclists, but I would never get that close. I'd rather wait behind. So we're coming down to one of my favourite sections, which is where we really get to see the water here. Yeah, this is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
You always take a look at UBC, sometimes back towards Lighthouse Park.
Yeah, for me, this little stretch was just pure magic.
I'm just grinning from ear to ear along here. Down here, if we look down this little section where these rocks are, I'm actually taking a look. I've seen sea otters down there as I cycled by. And that's also my first glimpse of the bridge on this corner, the Lionsgate Bridge. And you can't really see it here, but it looks such a long way off, and it kind of goes through my head sometimes, like, wow, that's my destination. That looks like it's going to take me hours to get there. I love coming around this corner, and then we've got this straight section, and I always smell something here. It's either this particular day I remember smelling like a wood burning stove, like the smoke. I don't know if you got a smell of that, but and in the summer when I cycle back, it's barbecues. I can smell the barbecues and people cooking their steaks or sausages or whatever. It's.
And what's that like to be able to sort of smell that other people are sort of living here? What does that sort of do for you?
I get a very community feeling from this little section. I actually don't know anyone who lives there or anything, but this is, to me, the second biggest hill of the day.
So are you thinking that as you approach it? This is the second biggest hill of the day?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I try and get a bit of speed down that hill, the other side, before getting up to here. And again, in the video, I was actually amazed how quickly the hill goes by. In my mind, it's longer and it takes forever, but actually watching the video, it's not very long at all. I mean, I know it's not very long. If you look at it, it's not that long. It feels long on the bike sometimes, but in the video, again, proves that it's really not that long.
Why do you think it feels longer while you're doing it?
I don't know. I'm one of these people. I'm not very good at looking up at hills. Like I mentally think, that will take forever to go up. No, I'm just not a very good hill climber. I think that's all it is.
Yeah, I noticed you often check down these side streets. Is that all to check for oncoming cars?
So some of it is to do that. Some of it is to look at the water as well. It's a bit of both.
So a nice clear view of the water kind of reassures you that there's no danger.
Yeah.
You can just be calm. So this is kind of a different sort of feel now. We're kind of
absolutely
feeling less remote.
Yeah. Well, this is where it starts to get busy. The traffic gets busier. The traffic lights start here.
Mm-hmm.
For me, this is the first traffic light that is kind of like the beginning of the whole stretch of lights now and more traffic. Oh, there we go.
What does that feel like to get passed by someone like that?
Actually, my first thought was show off when he went past. No, that happens to me all the time. Sometimes I think, what do I need to do to get that fast? Sometimes I'll even, for 30 seconds try and stay with them.
Yeah.
But most of the time I'm like, oh well. And then I'll make excuses. My bike weighs 35 pounds and I've got 20 pounds of clothes and lunch. And I bet you if I was on that bike, I'd be faster. Sometimes I find cycling in the city, because I do cycle around the city a bit, other cyclists can be quite aggressive. I have found that they pass without telling, or they just pass really quickly, or run red lights. I mean, that just drives me mad when they go through red lights.
Can you tell me a bit about why seeing cyclists run red lights drives you crazy?
Well, I think because we need to learn to work together on the road and share the road with cars, and I think it's the one thing that really pisses car drivers off, right? I mean, they've had to stop at the red light. The traffic law is clearly it's a red light, so I'm not sure why they think they have the right to go through it.
You seem to be looking around a little bit less through this area.
Yeah, probably a little more focusing on traffic now. I don't worry too much about traffic earlier. I just use my sound, the noise of the traffic to warn me. But here there is more and more noise.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm focusing more on the traffic. If I'm going around a parked car, is there anything behind me?
Yeah.
So I worry about holding up buses. Like, I don't mind holding up cars or anything like that, but I do worry about having a bus behind me, because they're not so manoeuvrable to get around cyclists, and they don't have the speed to zip past you and then zip back in again. So when I see the people at the bus stop, I know there's a bus, not too far away.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point I'm probably picking the pace up a little bit, because there's a main bus stop in Park Royal, and so when people stand that close to the edge of the pavement, the bus is close.
Okay.
So should I just hammer it to get to that Park Royal main interchange for the buses before the bus, or should I check where it is and let it go past? Because if a bus goes past me and then it's spending every block picking somebody up, I won't keep hopping that bus. I'll actually stay behind and let him go on and do a few stops and then get ahead of me. But this is a nice section to hammer it along. It's fairly flat, to just change the gear and just pedal like hell. So this is nice. Now I'm off the road.
Yeah.
This is the first section that I'm actually off the road, and we'll be off the road for quite a while.
So how does that feel to be out of the traffic now?
Yeah, this is a nice point. If I've hammered it for a couple of minutes earlier, then this is where I can take a bit of a breather. and not worry so much. And it's always beautiful cycling over here. Big difference to the flow of the water coming down the river there. Sometimes there's nothing, sometimes it's really full. I always take a break.
That's your water break spot?
That's always. This is my let's gear up for the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, always.
Do you find yourself feeling thirsty when you're like?
No, not at all. It's just an excuse.
Yeah.
It's just an excuse to go. Okay. Have a bit of a breather, get the heart rate down, and then head up the bridge.
So why are you trying to gear yourself up for the bridge?
It's a long, steady climb, and it's not my favourite part of the route. I mean, I love the scenery and the view, and when I'm on top of the bridge, you feel fantastic. But to look up this long stretch can get a little like, oh, will it ever end? I approach it as that I've never failed in doing it, so why would I fail that day, right? But I love the cresting of the view that you start to get when you come up over the bridge. And I think as a car driver, it's just gone by so quickly. Yeah, and as a cyclist, you really get to appreciate it. And it looks different every time. The sky's different every time. The sun is different somewhere else every time. The clouds are different every time. I never feel like I'm looking at the same view all the time. In the summer, the cruise ships go through around 6 a.m. Around that time, and I really like standing on the top of the bridge when the cruise ship goes under. That just absolutely makes my day, and especially if people are on the deck that early, you can wave to them and they'll wave back at you, and I just love doing that. And it's the only time you see me race up that bridge if I'm like a couple of minutes late. Have you ever stood on that bridge when a cruise ship's gone under? Oh, it's fantastic. Just to see that massive ship be right under you, like it's literally just right under you, going under. It's an amazing feeling. I think we're on the downhill now.
Yeah, starting to pick up some speed here.
Actually starting to get faster. Yeah, this is the reward. And then this little bit, this bit is fun. Even though it's back uphill, it's really short. If you come flying down the bridge and then hit this uphill but stand up and hammer it, it's actually quite fun. This isn't a particularly peaceful section of the ride because of the traffic. You get a really good view of this in a minute when I drop down into the park, how suddenly quieter it becomes, right? Yeah, it really is such a contrast, and it's instant. You know, it's an assault on your ears to listen to all that traffic noise, and then you get in here and it's like, oh, peace. Yeah, very peaceful here, gorgeous. This scene here of Cole Harbour and everything is one of my favourites. I've actually seen an eagle come down and take a fish out of the water as I've been going by. Like, it was just, I'm in the middle of the city, how can that be? I mean, it was just, it was jaw-dropping, it was absolutely amazing. It's just so peaceful. Honestly, there's just this feeling of joy every time I get on my bike. That's the only way I can describe it. And coming in, it's one of those things you wish you could bottle.
Yeah.
Give to people, right?
Yeah.
I would say I'm back to worrying about the traffic a little bit. As a cyclist, I don't like the car drivers getting too close or, or deliberately buzzing you. I've had that before.
Deliberately passing too closely?
Well, I was with some friends once. This is probably the most scariest situation we've had. We were with, it wasn't a commute into work, it was an actual training ride, and we were in Langley, along the farm roads there, and this truck was held up a little bit behind us. So when he decided to pass us, he basically almost rammed us in the middle, right, and then at the last minute swerved away, right, and it was really, really scary. And very, very deliberate. So.
Why do you think he did that?
Because we'd held him up. Sometimes we find people use their vehicle as a weapon to scare you, which is a shame. I mean, with a car, like if you're not driving fast enough, you've got people tailgating you, or if somebody's driving too slow, then you're tailgating them, or, I always think car drivers is just being angry, and I get into that same sort of like mode as well, I've got to rush from A to B, and if anybody gets in my way, then I'm going to be mad about it. I mean, I hate being in traffic when I'm in a car. I hate the rush feeling you always get. I mean, that's the thing about the bike, is the freedom. I can go as fast or as slow as I like. It's just such a joy to be on the bike. Why rush to work?
Yeah.
If you've got the extra time. You see how I've gone through that rut there? It's because I just don't feel safe enough to go around here. And look, because a lot of people get pretty close here, as you can see, which is normal for the city streets. So this section is one of my more anxious sections, I would say.
Yeah.
I have a little play with the lights here. I always get this red light, which always means I'll always get the next red light.
Yeah.
So I'm actually deliberately calculating the lights here. So this one, I'm like, okay, I have to hammer this one to make that next light. And that's my last light. So this one I'll take off like a bullet.
What do you think the benefits are to you?
I think mentally, because I've started my day and I've already done a 50-minute exercise. And what I enjoy about it so much is I have to get to work anyway, right? Whether it's by bus or car. So, and everyone says you have to exercise, so why not combine the two? And I really enjoy that fact that even if I don't do anything else for the rest of the day, like I don't go to the gym after work or anything like that, I've done, you know, a good amount of exercise first thing in the morning, and it doesn't feel like exercise. It feels, you know, this is my way of getting to work. This is how I choose to go to work.
Yeah.
To get to work, and I find it really, really satisfying. I mean, I would like to think there are a lot of people sitting on the fence, that if you can just persuade them to, you know, put their toe in the water and give it a try, that they'll start to go, hey, this actually isn't raining all the time, and yeah, I can get a bit cold, but I'm not going to get sick, or I'm not going to be run over by cars or anything like that. Like, you know, if you can just start to persuade those people, but I think I just love doing it.
Yeah. That first part though, wow. It's like meditation on a bike.